Ladies and gentlemen, another threat of destruction is approaching the East Coast, and it isn't the growing problem that the country is facing with the risk of running out of diesel fuel and reserves becoming more and more of a realistic possibility by the day. No. South Florida residents and business owners should be preparing for what could be a huge impact that will likely see expensive damages as a result. Now, I'm paying particularly close attention to the hurricane watch warnings issued by Florida as Hurricane Nicole tracks towards the east coast of Florida. And at this time, where Florida residents are still trying to pick up the pieces from just a few weeks ago after the damaging impact that Hurricane Ian had on the southwest region of the state that I currently call home. Now, if you are in the Florida area and are along the East Coast, Atlantic Ocean shore, please comment below and tell me you are prepared, or at the very least preparing for this possible hurricane that is predicted to make landfall very soon. And so, according to AccuWeather, a hurricane watch was issued along the eastern coast of Florida on yesterday as subtropical storm Nicole churned across the Atlantic and showed signs of further strengthening as it tracked towards the state. Now, meteorologists expect this expansive storm to take a turn and hit Florida's east coast, and as a hurricane at that. In fact, just a few days before it's expected to take a turn up the eastern seaboard. So yesterday, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis declared a state of emergency in anticipation of Nicole's arrival. So Florida residents are preparing to brace for long duration impacts from pounding surf and torrential rain, with models showing how this hurricane Nicole will strengthen into a hurricane prior to making landfall along the central Florida coast late tomorrow night or early Thursday morning. So they're warning folks in the area that impacts could be severe along Florida's Atlantic coast and over the Florida peninsula in general. Evacuation would be my first consideration, but if this is not feasible, please make sure you and your family and loved ones are prepared for the impact and the possible devastating aftermath and destruction. I'm expected to read about and hear of reports of increased shoppers at stores like Walmart, Publix, and Costco, and Sam's Club, and Target as they wipe out and empty shelves of water, paper towels, and toilet paper. Home Depot, Ace Hardware, and Lowe's will perhaps see increased sales of sandbags, generators, tarps, and extension cords. So please remain calm, but anticipate chaos, panic, and irrational behavior as the hysteria starts to sink in. In my opinion, I would be protecting my assets to make sure that I have them stored in a safe, dry place, and I would also review my insurance policies and make sure I'm completely covered and that there are no coverage gaps that could leave me and my family exposed and vulnerable to damages and repairs that would not be covered under homeowners or auto insurance coverages, leaving expensive repair bills or possible unaffordable deductibles out there for us to figure out how to come up with the money to pay for. So now is the time where an emergency savings fund will be crucial, as some employers may temporarily shut down and close with extreme uncertainty of when they could possibly reopen depending on the severity of the storm's aftermath. For the folks that work from home, communicating with your employer and or clients and giving them advance notice in case of severe damages that could wipe out internet connections and cell service ahead of time would be on my list of things to do in preparing for this storm. Now, guys, I knew a girl named Nicole back in college, and she was a handful, to say the least. So not saying all Nicoles are wreaking havoc on the world, but with the warnings and the current declaration by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, I would not be taking any chances. An emergency inflatable raft will be on my list of must-haves as well. Waterproof matches, blankets, life jackets, and life straws too. And it's the time of the year, folks. Hurricane season should not come as a surprise to anyone living in Florida. So we just have to plan accordingly for what we know is coming. And be smart, knowing that the severe threat of Hurricane Nicole could see this storm bringing with increased complications to fuel deliveries, food insecurities, limited availability of hospitals and medicine, and a reduction of possible or elimination altogether of EMT and fire rescue services. Don't forget about the elderly, seniors, and disabled that will need to be looked after if things get really bad. Now, I will continue to monitor this fluidly evolving situation and report back with any updates as soon as possible. Tell your family to prepare. Please take care and be safe.